Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I trust you can see us and hear us. I don't know how many people we'll have joining us today because we're on an hour earlier. So some people may have forgotten or it doesn't work into their schedule or whatever. But that's okay. The important people will be here. So hello, Priscilla and Diana and Patsy and Mary. And that's it. We have four. 105 degrees in Texas, Diana says. Whoa, that is steamy.
It's only 25 here, which is 77.
Yeah,
It feels steamy for us because we're used to cooler weather.
Yeah. There's Derek is here. Hello, Derek, and Sue is here. So people are starting to come in now. So I guess some of you remembered that we were on a little bit longer. Yes, thank you, Patsy. Oh, hi, Dana. And Kathleen is here. Great. Yes, I double checked to make sure the equipment was working today properly, so we don't go through what we went through last week. Suzanne is here. Jenny is here. Ginny. Why do I have trouble with her name? I don't know why. Jin E. Ginny. Okay. Her iPad, Patsy says iPad 35 are watching. Yeah, actually, ours tells us now there's 45. But there's always the lurkers. They don't all join into the chat. Deb's here. Hi, Deb. It's Mozilla. Marilyn's here. Hello, Marilyn. I said hello to Suzanne, didn't I? Yes, I did. So we'll just give it another couple of seconds and see who else is here. Yes, because we are on 1 hour earlier because my sister and brother-in-law and one of the kids, maybe both the kids, last I heard was one, but maybe both of them are coming for dinner and they're coming at 5 o'clock. So, yeah.
Hi, Jeannie.
We had to do this a little earlier. Hi, Judy. Hi, Jeannie. So, yeah. Okay, well, other people will probably join us as we get going here. So let's get started. Show you some finishes here. We're at our works in progress. Oh, Joanne is here. It's 96 here, going to 105 by 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Pat says, what's for dinner? Steak. Walter's doing his famous sous vide treatment of steak.
We're having strip loin steak from Costco.
Yes. In fact, I think everything we're having today comes from Costco. But anyway, so here's what I've been working on. This is completely done now. Now, this is the mirror quilt, and it's the one that I have designed and I've offered to my sister-in-law. Now, ironically, what else is happening is that I finished this last week, tail end of the week. I sent an email to my sister-in-law with a picture of it, and I said, you know, it's not a queen size, it's a full size. I really can't handle a queen size. Well, because you got to figure out the drop, and yeah, I'm not doing that. So I said, if you like it, it's yours. If you don't like it, I won't be offended. Don't worry about it. You know, if next time you're out this way, you could come over. I've got some other quilts here. Maybe there'll be something else that will suit your fancy better. So don't worry, you won't offend me if this is not your style or what you have in mind.
Obviously, they don't have very much value in quilts because remember your brother said something about he brought the quilt you liked back.
Yeah.
Which was your grandmother's quilt.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you're jumping ahead here.
Oh.
Because what I was going to say is, so I sent him that email, and a couple hours later, I got a text message, and he said, they're here. They're here in our city. They've come out here. The reason they've come out here is because my brother's mother-in-law, my sister-in-law's mother, is in the hospital, or was in the hospital. I'm not sure if she's 90 yet, but she's pretty close to 90.
I thought your brother said something last time when we were in earlier this year that she was 88. Something stuck in my mind where she
maybe
she was 88.
I'm not sure, but I know she's close to 90. Anyways, and they've discovered she has some dementia and Alzheimer's. And now I'm not sure how severe it is. Well, they didn't really explain why she was in the hospital and how that all worked out.
Yeah.
So,
probably something happened where she lost her way or something.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, so they're all looking for a place where she can go. Well, I'm staying out of the conversation. I went through this with my mother. Walter went through with his mother, and quite frankly, it brings up bad memories because our government here, and just like in any place, really, we don't look after our old people very well, and our government here in Ontario is the worst for it. Finding a place that will look after, their mother, my brother's mother-in-law, and that is not going to be easy. Although we found out that they did find a place, but we think it's actually very close to where we live. It's about
Walking distance.
yeah, walking distance basically from where we live. And we had looked into that for my mother too, but they don't really look after people that have,
It's actually a retirement residence, and you're still supposed to look after yourself. And supposedly they have one floor that gives you nursing home type care, but it's still not to the extent that nursing home care is. So I don't think it's you're partially independent. I think you're still expected to be able to wash yourself and stuff like that. So
yeah, and they do have extra services, like if you need to be taken down, help to go down to the main dining room, or other things like that, to the tune of like about $600 a month extra. And already these places cost, well, when we looked into it for my mother back, how many years ago was that? 6, 7 years?
well, that was probably 2018.
Yeah, so it was like a minimum of $5,000 a month. So I don't know, when you're in a situation where you have parents that you have to find a place for because they need extra care and all that kind of stuff, everybody comes out of the woodwork. Everybody has a story to tell you. Everybody has advice. People are doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're trying to help you out with a situation from what they know, but you're bombarded with this advice.
And the problem is each individual case is different.
And the situation is different, where depending on where you live and all that kind of stuff. And you just want to take those people and throttle them. You really do. Because it's never good news. It is never positive. It's usually horror stories. And that's why I'm not going to get into it with my brother. I have lots of horror stories I can tell my brother. They don't need to hear that right now. So his wife, my sister-in-law, also has 3 siblings that live in this area. Only my brother and my sister-in-law live out west. So basically, the brunt of all the decision-making and what they have to do will have to fall on the other siblings. But they're lucky that they have those siblings there for all of this. Essentially, what can they do? They live 5,000 kilometers away. So, in some ways, out of sight, out of mind. In other ways, it's a constant worry whether or not, you're kept up to date on what's going on. And I'm sure that you would feel very useless, and that somebody else is carrying a lot of the burden because you're just physically too far away. So anyways, I don't know when we're going to see them. I know they're going back to the West Coast on the 20th, which is next
Wednesday.
Thursday. Is that Wednesday?
Thursday's 21st.
Okay. Next Wednesday. I did tell my brother I was, sure come. He said he had this. This is what Walter's talking about. I don't know. There must have been some miscommunication or something. But when we were out west, we were talking about the quilts that my grandmother made each of us back in the 80s. And my brother got the one that I like the best because I think it's in blues. And I got the salmon colored one. They're all the same design. They're all beautiful quilts. They're all hand done, like piecing, quilting. It's all hand done, and it's an original design. My grandmother designed it all out on, basically pieces of cardboard she drew grids on. And I have all of that stuff actually. And if you remember back some time ago, I duplicated my grandmother's quilt and gave it my twist on it, that kind of thing. But it's a beautiful quilt. But for some reason, my brother said they had the quilt with them to give to me. I didn't.
Well, you
say
never
I
requested it.
I didn't request
No,
it.
you just said that's the one that you wanted at the time that your grandmother was handing them out. But it's not like you want it now.
Well, know. And they got it on the plane somehow. How they did that, I don't know.
Well, they could have taken a suitcase and shoved it
Well,
all in
maybe.
there.
Well, in
But,
that case, if they take another quilt home, they'll have something to put it in the suitcase, and save me having to mail it to them because I have no idea what that would cost.
yeah, but you know, it just goes to show you they don't really value that well.
Well, yeah, I guess not. My
And I
brother,
have a feeling your sister-in-law really doesn't value quilts anyway.
no, well, she's looking at the quilts more from a home decor kind of thing. And before I got into quilting, I mean, I probably appreciated that there was a lot of work put in them and that they're beautiful and that kind of thing. But really, I wasn't into it any more than that. In fact, someone gave us as a wedding gift a quilt that they had made. And I remember at the time, this is like 18 years ago, I took a look at it and went, yeah, that's nice. And it's has sat on a shelf ever since. I've never used it. It's a small quilt, a lap size, but I didn't appreciate the work that went into it. In fact, to be honest, I kind of looked at it and went, oh yeah, that's a cheap gift. I know differently now, so don't bite off my head, but you see, that's what I mean. If you don't make them, you don't understand the value of them, and that kind of thing. So anyways, well, that's fine. I'll keep the quilt, no problem. I'll keep it safe. But anyways, this quilt that I'm showing you here that I'm offering to them, and if it's not to their style, let me find the thing here. If it's not to my sister-in-law's style and that, I'm not going to be offended. It's okay. I'll find a home for it, I'm sure. But I do think it turned out pretty nice. It's a fairly modern design, and the quilting I did on it actually makes, and I've got the hiccups now, actually makes it almost look three-dimensional in the way the colors go. There's depth to it. This sucker took a while to quilt.
That's you did another dense pattern, didn't you?
I did that on purpose. I wanted it to be dense. I wanted the quilting to show up in it. It's called pipeline. It's difficult in this picture to see what the actual style is of it, but it's also a very modern look. And I knew when I saw this pattern before I even did it that was what I was going to quilt it with, because I just felt that it suited it. It's a shame. Pictures don't do justice to these things. Now, this one I am so pleased with, and Derek is here, and it was Derek Scott who put me onto this. He told me about this lady who designs these particular quilts, and of course he knows I love gnomes. This is actually called a tumty. Someone tried to correct me onto how to say that, but I have since been in contact with the designer of this quilt. She's in England. Her name is Tracy Perks. I am going to be doing an interview with her on July the 31st. I have put a link in my show notes to her website where you can see all of her patterns. And it is called a tomte, and she verified that that's how you say it. Now, it is a Swedish character that usually is associated with Christmas at times. I did do it in Christmas colors and Christmas fabric because as soon as I saw it, I thought Christmas. But you don't have to. It is all squares, 2.5-inch squares and 2.5-inch half square triangles. There's a lot of squares. The one thing I have against these patterns, and all of our patterns are like this, they're all made up of 2.5-inch squares. And somebody probably has said to me, why not just, instead of doing all the little squares, do it in strips? And yes, that would be faster in your cutting, but I think the squares actually give it texture. I think it's part of the design. Well, I know it's part of the design element. Now, I haven't quilted it yet, and I've made a little freestanding lace snowflake that I'm going to, after I quilt it, I'm going to do an edge-to-edge design, and I've got one in my mind, and I think I have it on my machine, or I've seen it somewhere, which is basically snowflakes and swirls, and it'll be edge-to-edge, and then I will applique on the little freestanding lace snowflake into his the little round ball at the end of his hat, because I think that'll look really cool with it. The pattern did not call for borders. I added the borders, and I did them in the 3 principal colors that are in the quilt, the red, the green, and the silvery black. And I think that finishes off the quilt quite nicely. I am very pleased with this for other reasons, which I'll go into on Idiot Quilter this week as I dissect some of the finer features of this quilt then. And what have I started new? Well, these are my kitties. This is called Cat Scratch. It's a pattern by John of Art East Quilting Company. He is a fellow Canadian. He and his partner designed these patterns. I'm sure you've heard of them because everybody's doing them. I bought the kit for this one at the quilt show in Halifax. Lot of little pieces to cut out. There are 6 cats and they're all different, and they've got these little scratch marks that come down. It's really cute. Not something I've ever really done a lot of. Well, I don't think I've done anything a lot of where I've had to like piece characters together. And it is not paper piecing. It is all traditional patchwork piecing. But it's coming along quite nicely. I quite like it. I just cut all the pieces out for the next 2 cats today, so I can get started on that at some point next week. But it, it looks relatively simple, and it is, but there's an awful lot of little pieces with it. Seems that's the theme right now, little pieces. So I'll show you that as it progresses. I didn't want to show you that yet. So that's what I'm working on, and I still have to quilt the Quilt of Valor one. That's the, I showed you with the panel and everything. So that's out sitting on Lucy waiting for that.
Can
So
we see the comments on the big screen?
oh, yes. Okay. Oh, Jesus. You get your own show. Okay, here we go. All right, what are people saying here? Because we couldn't see them. Okay. We got a few more people join us. That's great. So Karen's here. Hi, Karen. Kathleen's asking what you're making for dinner. Well,
Strip loin steaks.
so it's potato salad, macaroni salad, and my sister's bringing a salad. So it's sort of a semi-cold dinner we're going to eat out on the patio. Hi, Kay. Glenn is here. Hi, Glenn. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Dee. New subscriber, but I've been lurking in the shadows. Well, that is okay, Dee. We don't bite unless you want us to. Francis is here. Hello and happy birthday. I tried to make your birthday bash, but I ended up fighting my sewing machine to begin with. Hoping all had a great get together. Yeah, I think we had a new record. At one point, we were up to about 45. 46, so that was pretty good. We had a good day. I always forget who Ken No Show is. That's I wish people would use their names. Okay. I know who this is. Oh, I always forget. Derek says, there was an article today in our news saying that one care home is closing every week here. Something will have to be done soon so the care of elders and vulnerable people is given proper attention. That's right. And of course, the baby boomers, right? And Walter and I are the last of the baby boomers. We're at the tail end of the baby boomer part. And we're all aging. We have to have some place to go. Actually,
They keep building tons of these retirement homes here, or retirement home condos, actually, that are really tiny inside.
yeah. And they're just simply to make money. That's it. They're trying to eat into these people's nest egg and their pension funds and everything like that. But there's no services in them beyond meals, kind of a thing. And they have a central dining room or that kind of a deal with it. But really, they're just an apartment building with food. They don't have any extra services. Well, they can get them for you, but it costs you. KD Crafts is here. Hi, KD. Yeah, everybody has horror stories concerning nursing homes. That's for sure. And when you're going through it, when you're picking, the home and trying to get your relative into one or whatever, you don't want to hear those horror stories because you're living them. And there were times when I just wanted to reach out and just strangle some people because they're all full of advice and they all are telling you what you should do. And as Walter already said, it's a different situation for everybody.
You know, my mom's situation was different than Steve's mom's situation and everything else. But I mean, there were similarities and stuff. But in both our cases, our moms both needed more care than just living in an apartment and looking after yourself type of thing and getting meals put in.
I went through hell trying to get my mother into a home. She was in the hospital for 4.5 months. Her health was fine. She just refused to walk. And they kept telling me in the hospital, well, we'll do this test and that test. They said, well, her back is fine. Her legs are fine. The muscles have atrophied. I said, yes, because she isn't walking and all this kind of stuff. I said, it's psychological. It is not physical. They would not believe me. After 4.5 months, they finally said to me, yeah, I guess you're right. We can't find anything physically wrong with her. It's a mental situation. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we told them that for 4 months. And the other problem is because she couldn't walk, she couldn't bathe herself or dress herself either. So so you needed help to get her up. It was basically a full care situation.
Yeah. Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. They had an air quality alert from the fires in Canada. Yeah, you're welcome. Beverly's here. Deb says, can you zoom the photo more, Stephen, on the blue quilt? Nope, I can't. I can't. I will try to do that, though, on the Idiot Quilter on Tuesday. Sorry, but because of this setup that's here, I can't do that. Okay, where that Derek says, I'm working on Tracy Perk's bee quilt, just about to put the backing on. Tracy, so interesting, just starting out social media. Glad you liked your pattern. I do. I think I might get another one down the road. I really like the one with the giraffe head. I think that's really cute. It's quite comical as well. The bee, they're all quite nice. They're all something a little different. But you got to know how to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance, because if you've been struggling with that, this is not the quilt for you to do, because it has to be accurate. And I'm very proud to say that I am very accurate. So, yes, it does, Julie. It does look like it's a bit of a mosaic feel to it. Jody's here. Hi,
the
Jody.
only thing is all the pieces are identical in size.
Yeah.
Sometimes with mosaics, the pieces aren't identical in size.
Yeah. But she didn't say it was a mosaic. She said
no, it is like a mosaic. Yeah.
Jeff's here. Hi, Jeffrey.
Or pixelated.
Yes, that's what I think that she's going for. It's more of a pixelated. And if you did it in strips, you wouldn't get that effect. Yeah. Julie says, last of the baby boomers were born in 1964, a 20-year span from the end of World War II and next generation. Yep, knew that, Julie. Thanks for that. I think most of the people on here could be almost considered probably baby boomers. You're welcome, Wendy. I'm glad you had a good day. Yeah, we knew what you meant, Julie. Gail's here. Hi, Gail. Rebecca's here. Yeah, well, like I said, Deb, I will try and show that on the Idiot Quilter this week, because I just can't do it in this setup. It won't let me do it. Whereas if I do it in my setup when I do Idiot Quilter, I can do it. Dan says, Steve Miller, I have nothing but great things to say about where my mom is. Walden Circle Retirement Community. Well, that's great. How about we ship my sister-in-law's mother out to you, Dan, and you can look after her there. Don't think it's going to work that way. Most of the homes out here in Ontario suck. All of them. Even the brand new one I got my mother into, switched over from the other one. They look lovely, the new ones inside, but you know, they're only as good as the help. And the place she was in originally was an older one, not as nice looking, but the help there were really, really good. The help at the newer one, well, it was COVID as well. So, you know, hard to say. That would put a bearing on it as well. But the thing is this, I have lived my drama and trauma with my mother. That is over. I am not going to relive it anymore. And the one thing that would make me relive it is if I start giving advice to my brother and my sister-in-law. They don't want to hear the advice.
No.
So I'm not.
And part of the problem too is the individual that they're being looked after, what their attitude is like too. So your mother's attitude wasn't great. So
So yeah, I wish them the best luck with this. I hope all goes well with what they have to go through, but they don't need me sticking my 2 cents in.
no, not only that, they've got lots of people here
Yeah.
that can go visit her and look after her and
Yeah.
give her attention. So maybe the retirement home will work for her. So
Yeah. So let's get off this topic because this topic, just as I said, it actually does bring up very bad memories that I have managed to submerge into my unconscious or to my subconscious, and I want them to stay there because
well,
it really upsets me.
brings me up bad memories.
Yeah,
too.
so we don't need to, but Walter will bring it up anyways.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Sue says, I was the first wave of baby boomers. No one knew what to do with us, especially teachers with overcrowded rooms. Yeah. My mother-in-law is in one in Whitby, and it's been fantastic so far. Well, that's great. I'm glad. If you have good experiences, that's great. Okay, people, end of discussion about this. Okay, I'm not talking about it anymore. Okay, I don't want to. I'm not serious about it. Okay, let us move on to what Walter's working on. Nothing, mostly fighting with insurance company.
Finishing. I was actually sewing some more on your shirt.
Oh, my shirt. Yay.
I've got the sleeves in and I was sewing the sides up. So next is the collar and then the buttons.
Hi, Em. Yeah, okay. Oh, get a new shirt. Yay. So that'll be nice. That one have pussycats on it?
Yeah, it's the pussycat.
That was the pussycat one, the other pussycat one. Yes. And I just bought some fabric. I'll show it to you when it arrives, but thanks to Jan, we all know Jan. Jan, my enabler, yesterday, she sent me an email with all these fabrics she found from a place out west. And yeah, it's my color palette. And there was one with cats on it that I really liked. So I bought 3 meters of it so Walter can make me another shirt. Should be starting to make long sleeve shirts.
Yeah, I should, yeah.
Kathleen,
I've got fabric for that.
Kathleen says, any DIY plans in the near future, Walter?
No.
He's working on a shed.
I'm still working on filling my shed.
Yeah. Oh, Julie says, will Walter give us a video tour of the shed once he has it organized? That's an idea.
That may take a while.
Yeah, that may take Walter a while, but yeah, I'll put that in the plan. Yeah, that's a good idea, Julie. Patsy says, can't believe I forgot sew day yesterday. Sewed all afternoon by myself. Well, Patsy, what can I say? You're an idiot. And you know I say that with love. Right. Okay, but yeah, you missed a good day, Patsy. I think everybody had a good time. Oh, Gail's here. Hi, Gail. Love your shirt. Oh, my weed shirt. Actually, Walter made both of the shirts, as usual. He made that one. Yeah, I love this weed shirt. I love the colors in it and the whole bit. Okay, so, yeah, so about the car. We're getting the new car next week. The insurance company has not settled.
No, insurance hasn't settled with us yet, but they called me that the car was available. So I said, okay, I'll pick it up on Thursday.
Yeah. Patsy says, takes one to know one. Yeah, it does, Patsy. But you know what I call myself, don't you? So if I call myself an idiot quilter, no one should take offense to it if I call them an idiot too. We're just all part of a very special club. The Club of Idiots. But anyways, it's a term of endearment. I'm trying to bring it back into the lexicon in a positive way. Yeah, that's what I tell myself. But I tell myself a lot of things, and I believe myself too.
I imagine I'll have to fight with the insurance company next week, which I'm not looking forward to. Because everybody's telling me the first offer they gave you is a lowball offer. So.
Yeah, did you make the little cheat sheet list?
Yeah, I've got it.
Good, because I said to Walter, you need to have a cheat sheet list, because I know what he's like when he gets into a confrontational situation. He gets flustered, and he'll forget the things he needs to say to them. That will work in his favor. And so, you know, we went over the things, and escalating consequences, as I also call it. You know, like, all right, this, and this. If you're not getting the answer you want, then this, and this, and so on. And he's been doing his research anyways about how to handle insurance companies. So there's lots of videos out there about it. Lots of people have given us lots of advice about it too. So, yeah, Marilyn says, always fun to get a new car. Yep. And we'll be driving He'll be driving Miss Daisy in style. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. So the only thing is, we're always a little shell shocked when we go out in a car now. Look around every corner to see if there's an old lady behind the wheel and is she going to drive into us.
In fact, we passed one this week where it looked like an old lady hit rear-ended some other person on.
Yeah. So, Iser's here. Hello, Iser. Thank you, Iser. Hoping everyone is enjoying better temps than the 104 degrees in Las Vegas. Yeah, you seem to have the record for the heat, for sure. But you're desert, too. Like, is this... I mean, I thought deserts were always really, really, really hot. So, is this
years
unusually
ago,
hot?
we went to Palm Springs and it was 105.
Yeah, 106.
Oh, yeah.
It was 106. We went to Palm Springs.
In the summer.
In the summer, we went out on the streets to do some shopping. There was nobody on the streets and everything. And then we found out later they come out at night because it's when it cools off. Only crazy people like tourists, like us, were out on the streets in 106 degree Fahrenheit temperature. So there you go. I mean, it's a bit of a novelty for us in Canada, you know. I mean, yeah, it's hot, but although this summer we've been having hot temperatures too, so who knows? Global warming, all that kind of stuff. So you've been working on the shed, you've been hanging things up. I haven't gone out and even looked at what you've done so far in the backyard, so but you're having fun with your little house. Yeah. Em says, sometimes I worried I would bring my downs to the sew day, so I'd skip it. No, Em, you don't have to worry about that. In fact, it'd probably do you some good. It makes everybody happy on the sew days because everybody's getting something done and we all have, you know, nice conversation. We all learn things. I mean, big topic of conversation yesterday.
Yeah, if you want to join.
Yeah. What was it yesterday? Oh, it was about appliances and the problems with appliances and stuff like that. You know, we always talk about something a little different. We don't always talk about sewing and quilting. You always learn something. Julie says Death Valley is supposed to hit 123 degrees Fahrenheit today. Wow, fry an egg on the sidewalk. Yeah. Julie, you're just full of facts, aren't you? Do you have a big book sitting right there in front of you when you just leaf through, you know, like a Guinness World Book of Records or something? Or maybe you're one of those kind of people that can remember all this kind of stuff. You should go on Jeopardy. You might make some big money on that one. Just a thought. Okay, so we did have what was last week. We had, of course, usual sewing with Stephanie and Steven on Wednesday. We have it every Wednesday. So far, it's been a full day lately. So, you know, join us. Links in the show notes. And yeah, that's every Wednesday morning starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So we had the big pop-up sew day, Steven's birthday bash. By the way, I did not call it that. If you've seen Stephanie's latest videos, she does own up to it. She's the one that called it that, and that stuck. So that's why we called it Steven's birthday bash pop-up sew day with it all. But it was fun. It was a nice way to spend my birthday. Technically, my birthday was not on Saturday. It was on Friday. Technically, it was our wedding anniversary on Saturday. And everybody's been asking us what we did for my birthday and what we did for that. So, what did you do for my birthday, Walter?
I gave you a card. I made you a t-shirt.
Yes, if you were on the pop-up sew day yesterday, you would have saw the t-shirt Walter made me. It, of course, has, those of you that are regulars on a pop-up sew day know my saying, my sandbox, my rules, and that's what he put on the t-shirt. So I don't wear t-shirts. I don't like wearing shirts without a collar, but I did because he made it. I wore it yesterday with one of these shirts over the top of it.
Yeah, I was looking. It was just one of those iron-on type things, right? But I printed it out on a printer and ironed it on to the shirt because, one, I figured he'd never wear it. And I was looking for an embroidery file that would do that. But then I don't know if it would have been worth it because you'd never wear it. So
you're quite right. I'm just not one of those kind of people that I never liked t-shirts.
Ever since I retired, I wear t-shirts all the time.
Mm-hmm. think it's been the same one. You might want to get a new one. When was the last time you washed that t-shirt?
No, I have a closet full of black
You have
t-shirts.
black t-shirts. Yeah, his closet's full of black t-shirts. Of course, my closet's full of black jeans. So there you go. So anyways, we had a really good time at the pop-up, and we have not done the official go out for dinner on my birthday thing. I don't know if we'll ever get around to that. There's just been so many things happening in the last little while. We just didn't feel.
We went out for lunch on your birthday.
Yeah, well, we went out for lunch on my birthday. Who paid for that?
Us.
Yes. So that was special.
I gave him an IOU for a couple of cabinets and
Yes.
and dinner out.
Yes. Actually, last year, if you remember correctly, when we went out for my birthday dinner, I used my gift cards that I had gotten from my points.
Well, you did that for mine too.
I did, but it was mine. And I did my own birthday with my gift cards.
Well, that's too bad.
Cheap bastard.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Anyways, yeah, we'll probably go to the Keg. That's our favorite restaurant, kind of thing. Although last time we went to the
I don't
Keg,
know if it's our favorite restaurant anymore.
no, last time we went, I was a little disappointed.
No, you had the prime rib.
But I had
and-
the prime rib, yeah.
Yeah, and the prime rib sometimes isn't.
Yeah. So I think I'll stick to the steak next time. But yeah, so we had though on Saturday night, Walter did some lobster tails. And we had that with some cheesy bread. And yeah, that was dinner. We don't eat as much as we used to. Although you would never know it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're just never ever really as hungry anymore. Is that old age? I don't know what's happening with that. So yeah, and for our wedding anniversary, we don't really celebrate it. Because for us, it's just the anniversary of when we got lots of gift certificates. Yeah, when we could legally get married, basically. It was a year after they legalized it in Canada.
And you might say, okay, isn't that when you normally celebrate an anniversary?
No, we
But
don't.
actually, when we got together, we couldn't get married, so
Mhm.
we picked a date that we considered was our anniversary.
Yeah.
So we always celebrate that anniversary.
So that anniversary, we've been married, legally married for 18 years. But our anniversary of us being together is 40 years on December the 21st. So, yeah. And I do have a couple of pictures here you might get a bit of a laugh out of. Just pull it up here. Here is on the day of our wedding. We were younger. It was 18 years ago. So there we are. Yes, Walter did have more hair then. Neither of us
And it
have
was
a
darker.
beard. Yeah. And my hair was darker too than it is now. So there we are, the happy couple. For that, we bought coordinating outfits, new suits. Walter claims he can get into his wedding suit.
Well, probably because I'm as big as I was then.
I don't know. I think you lie. You were skinnier then.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, I think you were. That I know for sure. There's no way I can get into mine with it. Not even going to
I
try.
don't know. You look fatter there than you.
But I thought black was supposed to be a slimming
Yeah,
color.
well, I don't know. Your
No. You see,
You
the way
got-
we're standing, if you look here closely, your gut is hanging over me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why it makes it look like Siamese twins here. But speaking of that, here is something, a person that we know, he's a friend. We haven't seen him in a million years. He lives out in BC. He's somebody that actually originally came from Ontario. And our very first trip out west, we met him out there. We did not know him. It was through another friend. And this other friend said, you should, look him up. He knows you're coming. And he said he'd be more than happy to take you around and show you things. And we were a little bit apprehensive about doing that because this guy was a complete stranger. But we did call him up, and he did. He showed us a really good time. He took us all over the place. And it happened to be my birthday when we were out there. I remember we went to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And we had never had really Mexican food. This is back in 1984.
Yeah.
Summer of 1984, And we drove out west for this. And we met up with him. He took us, when he found out it was my birthday, we went to this Mexican restaurant. He told the help there, and they made me wear a sombrero. And they sang something. I don't know. Oh boy, did I get half pie-eyed. He had in his car, he had an electronic horn system that played about 20 different tunes. And all the way down the street when we're driving, I'm pushing all the buttons for all of these sounds because I was pretty much blottoed. But he's always stayed in touch via Facebook, and he posted a picture on my birthday that he had taken when we were out there. Are you ready for this? That is me standing in the Pacific Ocean. Boy, I was skinny, and I had the flock of seagulls hairdo at the time. Actually, I'm kind of cute. What happened? Oh, I just got better with age. That's what you're supposed to say. You didn't. But anyways, yeah, that was kind of a blast from the past. Yeah, it's not a very clear picture, but you know, in those days we had old technology that was probably done on a film. Well, would have been a film camera with it. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand. I think I collected a sample of the seawater, and for years I had it in our china cabinet. But I don't know what I'm doing there, but whatever. So yeah, I just thought you'd like to see that. That's good for a laugh and a half. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Just a second. Go back here. What's everybody saying? Because I have another picture show. Oh, Stephanie's here. Hi, Stephanie. Nellie's here. Thank you, Nellie. Yeah, Gail, in a sense we do. But like I said, the one that's most important to us is the one that we have had for years, December the 21st. Captain Kirk married Walter. I do not look like William Shatner. Yes, Julie, that's the right answer. Hi, Gadget Girl. Nancy's here. Another Nancy. I'm just looking down here. I'm trying to catch up on what everybody's saying. Looks like you are shooting someone the bird. Oh, well, that's a possibility. Yeah, maybe I was. I don't know. I have no idea at the time. I don't even remember when that... Well, I know what the situation was when the picture was taken, just by context. But, yeah. We do have pictures from that trip, but they're all on slides.
Well, Julie says that you have 8.88K subscribers.
Yes, I'm aware. I checked it this morning, actually. I'm trying to get to 10,000 people, so let's get those likes out there and those thumbs up. I hate begging for this stuff. Quite frankly, we're 7 months into the year, 5 months left. I don't think I'm going to hit 10,000. And that's okay. That was just a goal out there. So whatever. I mean, Stephanie's been definitely pushing it for me, for sure. Thank you, Stephanie, for it all. But that's what friends are for. But yeah, likes people. If you're not a subscriber and you're lurking on here or you're joining in the conversation,
well, she can't. I thought you
subscribe.
said it so that you could only subscribers could see this.
Oh, that's right. You had to be a subscriber to get into the chat. Yeah, forgot about that. Well, yeah, but they can subscribe.
Yeah.
While it's going up here, and then they can get into the chat. So yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Okay. You are growing, getting closer. Yes, getting closer is sure. Francis says maybe William Shatner resembles you. Maybe. 888 is an angel number. The universe is sending you a message. What is anybody's guess? Okay. Maybe. All right. Let's go here. Speaking of subscriptions. Okay. You know, everybody does this, right? And I always forget to do it. And also I figure people, if they want to subscribe, already know how it works. If you're on YouTube, I mean, it's pretty standard. But here's something about YouTube. I don't know if people realize this. YouTube has been changing their algorithms a lot. They do all the time. The reason I was trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, it means that then YouTube will start to recognize my channel and start moving it more into the recommended videos and things like that, which will other people then who don't know about me and might be interested can find it that way. But YouTube has also done some other things. You know about monetization, right? With the advertising. Okay, that's fine. When they first started doing the monetization, you had to have so many views within a year. I think it was 4,000. I don't know if that still pertains to that before you could monetize. Then they decided that whether or not you qualified to be monetized, they were still going to put advertising on your channel. So basically, they weren't paying you for the advertising. That got a lot of YouTube creators upset, or new people, because basically, you know, they're saying you have to have this number of views, but at the same time, they're sticking ads that you have no control over into your videos that you're putting up, and they're not giving you a cent for those. And the operative word there is cent, because you don't make much on the advertising. The only ones that make much on advertising are the ones that have 1 million subscribers, you know, those type of ones. So the rest of us are not making that kind of money. The other thing too that YouTube did was they created something called shorts, and for some reason those can be monetized. But I've been watching a few YouTube creators videos that talk about all this kind of stuff, and they're saying the shorts aren't worth your effort. And people are slowing down on making the shorts. Also, what was happening is people were making junk content just to make money on them in a lot of ways. And they were stupid. Some of the shorts that are on there are just dumb. Now, shorts are not a bad thing if you're trying to advertise what's coming up on your channel. Some people use it that way.
I think that's YouTube's solution to is it TikTok?
To TikTok, yeah. They're trying to pull people away from TikTok and onto YouTube. YouTube, of course, is a business, right? And they're all about making more money. They do have a subscription, though, okay? I don't know how many people buy into it. I certainly wouldn't. Whereas if you're annoyed by advertising that comes up on YouTube channels that you're watching, if you pay a fee, a monthly charge or something, you can avoid those, supposedly. They won't come up if you're a subscriber to YouTube. Well, I think it's only a short leap, and I think it's going to happen really soon, where YouTube is going to become a subscription service like Netflix. I think they will model themselves on that. You know, on YouTube, you can get full-length movies and documentaries on YouTube. You do have to sit through commercials, unless you're one of those people that pays for the subscription, but they do have them. And they're getting better all the time. A lot of it is very old content, okay? But I have noticed lately that they're getting a little bit more recent in the selections. Not as recent as what maybe like Netflix gets, or one of the other like Prime or Disney Plus or whatever. But they are getting more. So I think it's only going to be a short time before YouTube is going to become a full-fledged subscription service. They'll probably still offer a freebie level, but it's probably going to limit what you can watch or how much you can watch in a certain time period or something like that. Now, if you know what they're also figuring on, and someone said this actually yesterday on the pop-up show, they don't watch regular TV anymore or anything else. All they do is watch YouTube. YouTube is replacing regular TV, and it is also replacing, to a certain extent, Netflix and Prime and the other ones. Because you know what's happening right now with Netflix? Have you noticed the selection?
Well, is that also because of the writer's strike?
It could be affected by the writer's strike. That's a possibility as well. But a lot of their content is foreign, It's coming from Asia. It's coming from Korea. It's coming from Spain, Italy, things like that. Now, mind you, there's some good stuff on there. What annoys me about those, though, first of all, I hate subtitles. Some do dubbing, and sometimes the dubbing is pretty good. Other times the dubbing isn't.
Yeah,
so
I find
good.
the Spanish ones, the dubbing, it seems like the voices don't match the character.
Yeah,
And a lot of times, if you watch a number of Spanish ones, it seems like same people are
it's
doing
the
the
same
dubbing.
voices.
Because you hear the same.
There's the same voices all the time with it. But I think that's the route that YouTube is headed towards.
Either that, or the other option is that they'll have like content creators that are doing it like we continue to do it, and then they'll section off a portion where they have movies and stuff as a subscription service.
That could be. Or they might start hiring some of the more high-end content creators, the ones that do this as a living, and hire them to write original content and produce original videos for YouTube. Like you've got Netflix originals, right? They go out and they hire the producers and the writers and the actors to create stuff that's exclusive to Netflix. Well, I could see YouTube doing that as well. I mean, YouTube is no small company. You know, they make a lot of money, like a lot of money. So I could see them going that route. So is that a bad thing? I don't know.
Mozilla, but yeah, it says YouTube cheapskates out on creators. Creators are the ones doing all the work and investing money in cameras. Yeah, but do you want every single YouTube video to be professional? You want it to be a professional show, right? Like, I mean, ours isn't a professional show. And we're just real people. We're doing YouTube. But then it becomes like scripted television all again if you invest too much money in each channel.
Yeah, I was just looking here. I just saw Mozilla, or I just said my condolences, Janice. So I looked up to see what's going on, and this is a downer. Sorry, missed out on a pop-up so day. Lost a family member on the 4th of July. He was murdered in Chicago. Only 24. He was engaged to be married. I think to be married. That's terrible. Janice. That's, well, so sorry to hear that and everything. Now I'm going to say something that'll sound very cold. I don't want to talk about this any further. I don't want to bring us down. I'm very sorry for your loss and the whole bit, and that's horrible and whatnot, but I don't want to pursue the conversation with that because I think it's a downer. It's horrible. What can we say? But so sorry about that. Just moving up here a little bit, say. You never know, Derek says. The photo of Captain Kirk could make your channel go viral. Maybe. I don't know about that. Yeah, back to the YouTube thing as well. I think one of the qualities about YouTube, at least when it first got started and people got into it, was basically because anybody could make a video. And I think that is a unique characteristic of YouTube, and I think that's something that attracts a lot of people. Like Walter said, we can watch polished productions on Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, all the other ones out there. I'm more attracted to real people, and that's why I have a problem with the ones who do YouTube that are real people, but they highly polish their production. They're highly overly edited. Just get it done quilts. You've heard me say it before. Great content, but every other sentence, not every other sentence, every half of a sentence, there's a cut, there's an edit. Okay? I want to see something that's coherent, yes. I want to see something that I can see clearly and can hear clearly, but I don't need all the buzzers and bells in there. I don't need little animated characters walking across the screen. If you stumble over a word, that's fine. You're human. I think that endears a creator that happens to an audience more, because people say, yeah, you're real. You're real. I mean, if you watch a Mr. Beast, okay, who has like what? Millions of views per video. He makes all kinds of money. He's got a staff. He has, it is so professional. I mean, it's like watching a movie out of it all. In fact, I don't watch Mr. Beast because in the overproduction of his videos, in the professional quality of it, I think it's a gimmick. I think he's figured out a formula for him that makes him a lot of money. He's one of the top earners on YouTube. I don't believe what he puts up. It's fake. It's fake YouTube, in a sense. He does a lot of stuff to bait people to watch the videos. So I don't watch them because I know it's bait. So yeah, so if YouTube starts to go for having other people create videos for them, I think that's going to cheapen the atmosphere of YouTube, in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just another streaming service out there. What are people saying? Francis says, ditch Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Prime. The boyfriend watches a lot of series content on YouTube. His main topics are learning type shows, military related comedy, all in English language. Well, I mean, there's, if you look at YouTube as a library of information, and we were talking about this on the Pop-Up So Day, you can learn all kinds of things. You need to fix something, go to YouTube. You'll find a video on how to fix it. You need advice on something, it's there. It's all there. There's more information on YouTube than you'll ever find in a library. YouTube is taken over from.
In fact,
libraries.
I watched a Netflix documentary a little while ago, and that was on the explosion of the volcano on the island in New Zealand, where a lot of tourists got affected by that. And then I went on to YouTube and looked at some content, and they had better content than what Netflix was showing.
Yeah, that happens. Iser says the ads suck the life out of me. The late night commercials are very long. Weird musicians or cult religious spots. They say you can block them, but they show up in a couple of months. Is that on YouTube?
I don't know. I watch late night YouTube, and I don't see any weird commercials.
Well, I've seen weird commercials, but you can usually skip over those ones.
Okay.
There are some on there though that they look like they're actually a production for YouTube, and then they're an infomercial, and they last 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And most of the time you can skip over them, but if you can't, I don't watch the video.
Yeah.
With that, because I like Iser, I don't want to see that kind of stuff. Well, Deb says, no, Walter, no professionals, but people like you guys should be getting paid more.
I mean, we're doing this as kind of a hobby.
This is a hobby.
Right?
We're not doing it for the money.
And yeah, it's always nice to get more money.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not necessarily our motivation.
That's not our motivation to do it.
I think if you start making it too much of a business, then you're always that's what your end goal is to make more.
Then
money.
It's not fun. This is fun.
It's like people that end up being buying a long arm machine, and then they open a business and do quilts for other people. Then they end up being a business that are doing quilting, and we've heard from other people that say that as soon as you do that, then it's not fun to quilt anymore.
Yeah. Am says I was jaw dropped when Kim Kardashian speaking Mandarin on Netflix. Also, some of the Netflix originals aren't very original. Well, that's true.
No, that is true. I mean, Netflix and all of the streaming things do buy content from other creators. So,
yeah.
And they may call it a Netflix original or whatever.
Well, it means maybe what they should be saying is an exclusive to Netflix because they paid the money for it. So, yeah. Derek says, we are encouraged to edit our lecture recordings. I refuse. My recordings have all the mistakes, pauses, ers, ems, coughs, etc. So it seems real. None of the students have ever complained so far. Yeah, why waste your time on doing something like that? we all stumble over our tongue. You know, it happens. Um, sure, if you're someone who has a bad stammer or you stutter a lot or something like that, maybe. But then maybe you shouldn't be doing something that's if you had that kind of problem. But yeah, I agree, Derek. Why waste your time on something like that? And that's the way I feel about editing my videos. I don't have time to do it. And I'm not going to bother with it. That's not important to me. If I stumble, I stumble. I go, oops, rented teeth, rented tongue, rented mouth, whatever. It happens. So yeah, Pat says I watched a lot of quilting videos when I first started quilting. Learned a lot. Yeah, and so did I. I still do. For that matter. Yeah, there's always something to be learned. Francis says we fixed our washer, dryer, dishwasher, and certain things with our vehicles with YouTube. I used it to troubleshoot and or repair my sewing machines. I was on YouTube today. I'm having a little problem with one of my 3D printers. I went in, did a search to see what I could find. There was tons of stuff. All kinds of ideas. None of them have fixed it yet, but I'm still trying with it. Kathleen says, is Ford, don't you have company coming? Have a great evening. See you later this week. Okay, Kathleen.
They're not coming till 5.
They're not coming till 5. Bye. We'll see you next week, Kathleen. What's that? A hint, Kathleen? Get the hell off the air?
Well, you're telling us that we're on too long?
Yeah, what, really? Oh, okay, well, bye, Kathleen. I hope you have a really great week. We are being facetious, Kathleen. I mean, I don't think you meant it that way. And if you did, well, sucks to be you.
We're prepared for our company.
Yes,
everything's
we're ready.
Sort of
Everything's ready to go. Iser says, I avoid YouTube creators that include their children or partners that don't share into the topics. Absolutely love the mistakes and animals that show up unexpected. Well, yeah. I always think having a cat jump into the scene and show what the cats always want to show, which is their rear end in the video, is hilarious.
I mean, there is YouTube creators content that isn't always easily watchable.
No,
so
some of it is
because some of the people take YouTube and start discussing their personal problems, and then those are the ones that kind of turn me off. So
I think there's a fine line, and it's very easy to step over the line. We consider, because we've been doing this for so long now, and we have all the regulars that are in the content and come every week, and many of you come to the pop-up sew days, so I've met you through Zoom as well. We kind of consider you friends, even though we may have never physically met. So when you start to look at your audience as, you're breaking down the fourth wall, as they say, you might tend to slip over into talking about more personal things. Like, for example, we talked about our wedding. We talk about our relationship. We showed you a picture of our wedding and stuff like that. That is coming very close to stepping over the line, but we are very much aware of that and try not to step over the line. But there are some YouTube creators get on there and go, hi, I'm sorry, I haven't been making a video in the last couple of weeks. I'm sick. And they go on and tell you about their struggles. Well, okay, YouTube is not for therapy. People like that need to get professional help, and you're not going to find it on YouTube or on the internet. You need to go and see your doctor and get a recommendation if this is really affecting your mental state. There are those who do YouTube channel stuff because they are egotistical and want to be the center of attention. Well, why are you on here then?
I know. Yeah. You sucked me into doing this.
No, I'm just going to say, actually, in order to be a YouTube creator, you do have to have a little bit of an ego. You have to be willing to put yourself out there, make yourself vulnerable to an audience of people you do not know. You will be attacked for the things you say. You have to grow a thick skin over that. And those of you on here that also have YouTube channels, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like we were at a function last week at my nephew's place. Was it last week? I guess it was. And we were talking about the YouTube channel, and they were going, "Oh, we could never do that. We could never sit in front of a camera and talk." Yeah. And actually, I would have been the same way back. when we first started doing this. Steve had started the channel. We were doing stuff, and then he says, "I want to sit down and have you on the channel on a Sunday afternoon." And I said, "Oh, no, not me. I don't want to do that." So we did.
Now look at the monster I've created.
We did it anyway, and I got used to talking to a camera. So
yeah,
that I'm actually talking as if I'm talking to an audience as well. In fact, I think I wouldn't be able to talk to an audience, in an auditorium.
Well, it would be it's because we do have a bit of a barrier here. We're looking at a screen right now. We can't see your faces. So, you read a lot of information about how people are feeling about what you have to see through the context of their facial expression. All we have is the words to go by that you write. And that is really actually a weaker form of communication if you couple it with a face. And that's why I like Zoom, because it changes the context. Somebody might be saying something and they mean it in a very funny way. But if you can't see their face and their expression, like if they're smiling or something like that, then you might take it the wrong way. But the other thing about going on to something like this, you do have to have a certain amount of extrovertedness. Is that a word? Extrovert in you. And here's what I hear from a lot of YouTube content creators. Well, I am pretty much an introvert. No, you are not.
Yes, Stephanie.
Stephanie and Sean and Russ and Adam. I've heard it from all of you, and I have said it myself too, that I consider myself, I know you're all going to disagree with that one, I consider myself a bit of an introvert. But it's a different type of thing. We're introverts if we're in a room full of people that we do not know. But when we're doing our own content and we're in control of what we create, that we might be apprehensive about some things we say, but we are not introverted there. So we can be both. We can be introverted in a live situation. In a situation like this, we tend to be more extroverted. You've got to be in order to produce this kind of content with it when you're doing this. So, yeah. And like I said, you have to have a thick skin, because people, on purpose or not on purpose, will say things that will hurt you. And as I have explained to Stephanie before and other people, you always have the power of the delete key. If somebody writes a nasty comment, delete them. We always get notifications through our email when somebody has written a comment on one of our videos. And I see it in my email. If it's a negative comment that I'm not to say to get rid of all negative comments. If it's not constructive criticism, if it's meant to be hurtful, then I remove it. My sandbox, my rules. And more content creators should do that. Because people don't have a right to insult us, to talk about how we physically look, to talk about our voices. They can disagree with our opinions. That is fine. That's called discussion. But to turn around and say you're a stupid a-hole, that you don't know what you're talking about, you should die, you fat chunk of dead meat, delete. That's all it takes. It's our channel. And you've heard me say this before. I will not allow any individual to take control of my content. So, yeah. And there are some content creators out there that don't get that. And they're the ones, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Oh, get over it. You can't please all of the people all of the time, blah, blah, blah. So what are people saying here?
Derek Scott says real life isn't edited. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. This is reality TV, people. Shannon,
And we're not scripted.
No, we're not scripted. Definitely not. Shannon at Slay Arts says, "Hi, Shannon." Oh no, that's Julie. She said, "Had a dog cat moment in her live stream today. Pretty funny. The chaos." Yeah, so that happens. And I don't even mind it when some small child runs in and kind of a thing, as long as it's not through the whole video. There are some videos that I have watched, and I've never subscribed to their channel, that it constantly in the background you hear all kinds of noise. There's little kids screaming and all this kind of stuff. There's a dog barking forever. No, you can't have that kind of thing in a video because it's distracting. But I mean, if your puppy runs into the room and looks into the screen and goes, well, that's just cute. If a cat jumps up and shows its ass, well, that's just cute, because that's what cats like to do. If a small child comes in and goes, "Mommy, what are you doing?" That's cute for about the first 10 seconds, and then go away, kid. But, just backing up here. Linda says, "Hi, Linda. I have learned so much from you and your friends in the quilting world. Thank you so much." Oh, you're welcome, Linda. It's free. Stephanie says, "But you weren't having a mental breakdown or talking about all your failures." No. And I know who Stephanie is talking about, but we'll just keep that between Stephanie and myself. But yeah, that makes other people feel bad. Like, why come on to something like this and feel bad? You can feel bad in other ways. You don't need to come on here and do it, because after all, this is a form of entertainment as well. Francis agrees with Derek, and life is too short for perfection. Also, is there really perfection in life? Yeah, that's true. There isn't. Julie says to Stephanie, "There's a new channel to start. Mental Breakdown Quilting." I was going to finish the binding this week, but I've been sick and I've been so depressed, and every time I take a stitch, I cry. Yeah. There's so many parodies I want to do, but that's for a different channel. Steph says, "That is the hardest part, putting yourself out there, especially with the personal attacks from keyboard warriors." Yep. But that's what I said. We have to grow a tough skin and use the delete key, and use it often. Derek says, "You do get desensitized when presenting, speaking, or time. I used to be terrified of public speaking until I graduated university. Friends think it's bizarre what I ended up doing for a job." Yeah, well, I know what you mean by that, Derek. When I first got into teaching, oh God, kids were scary. Because you're standing up there, you didn't want to make one mistake in front of them. If you heard some kids whispering at the back of the room or giggling a little bit, you figured either your fly was open, something was coming out of your mouth, there was something in your nose or whatever, and you just panic. Well, after with experience, you got used to it and realized, kids just giggle because they giggle. Sometimes that's just the way they are. And again, I go back to my sandbox, my rules. I'm in charge. I'm in the front of this class. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about me. Eyes up here, front, listen. I'm here to educate you. That's what I'm paid for. Shut your little gods. And then if you don't do that, I will do attitude readjustment. My favorite pastime when I was a teacher. Don't ask me what that is. I'd have to kill you if I told you how it really works. Diana says, "My first experience with Steve was my search on my Genome 15,000. You were so honest and informational concerning all videos. The two of you are like family. Love you both." Oh, Diana, you're such a little sweetie. Send money. Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
Uh,
Sorry, we started early.
Yeah, we started early, Colleen. Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda. Hello. I've been on since 3 p.m. but couldn't connect to the chat. Bummer. Hello to everyone. Enjoy your dinner with your family. Okay. Francis, I call vehicle insurance companies daily. Since COVID, many work from home. Most instances are reasonably quiet, but once in a while you get that dog barking at the fly who farted across the street.
Oh,
Oh, Stephanie retracted a message. Oh, Stephanie, you naughty girl.
I think she said she learned a lot from your.
Oh, well, here she says, I know, I learned that from you, Stephen, that the world won't end if I delete someone, so thank you. Yes, it won't. It won't. I mean, yesterday, for example, when during the pop-up, I had to say it twice. And the second time I said it, some people may have taken a little bit of offense to it because went into teacher mode. But it's this noise in the background while you're on a Zoom call. If your husband sticks his head in and you have a major conversation about why you're not going to cook him lunch because you're busy, or if your phone rings and you pick it up and have a conversation with Gladys down the street about the price of kumquats at your local supermarket, or if your dog and your grandchildren suddenly run into the room and, you know, at that point, get a gun and blow them away. But turn off the mic. Mute yourself, because it creates chaos and havoc. Because if someone has their screen set up for it, it'll go into speaker mode, like it switches over to whoever the speaker is. Well, it switches over to whoever's making the loudest noise. And if your dog's barking, that's who's on the center of the screen.
Or you're talking really loud to somebody on the phone and it may be an embarrassing conversation. Everybody on the Zoom's going to hear it.
And I know it's easy to forget that. It's especially when you're new to Zoom, okay? And you're trying to figure it out because there's a lot of little buzzers and bells and things to fix out. But you need to shut it down. And then what happens is, when that occurs and people are having a conversation or someone's telling us something, they raise their voice. They try to drown that out. And then somebody else gets in there and tries to drown them out. And then it's all hell and chaos. So yesterday, I kind of took a firm hand on this. And I was a little annoyed that this was going on.
I even did it yesterday. I was using my serger, and I don't know if you could have heard my serger going.
No, it didn't.
But it was loud to me, and then I realized my mic was still on.
Yeah.
So,
and that happens, okay? And that's, okay, fine. And as moderator of it, I can mute somebody's microphone, and I do. Sometimes I realize they don't realize that that's happening. They're not paying attention to the screen because they're there sewing away and maybe the sewing machine is coming up on it. Then I'll just mute them with it. But I almost muted everybody yesterday at that one point, just so we could start
because
fresh.
we couldn't figure out who was making the noise.
We couldn't figure it out. It was coming from a couple of sources. And it was like, there's a green box goes around wherever, the one that stands out happens. Well, when you got 40 people up on your screen, it's like playing Hollywood Squares. Where is it? Where is it? I expected the Brady Bunch to suddenly pop up and start singing the theme song when you're looking at all those squares. So, yeah, I did get a little, I don't know if people noticed it in my voice, but it was a little tense there for a moment. Let's see. Elsie's here. Hi, Elsie. Actually, if you watch any of the little videos about using Zoom that Zoom puts out, that's one of the things they say: when you're not speaking, get into the habit of muting your microphone. That way you don't have a problem. We've heard some good conversations on the telephone and some personal conversations we shouldn't, to the point of embarrassment where where are they? I got to mute them. So, yeah, it's there. It works both ways, It's just not to protect me, it's to protect you as well with that. Mona's here. Hi, Mona. Yes, I used my teacher voice, Mona. I did. I slipped into it. Diane KY says, I've been watching but behind. I agree about YouTube conversation. Hope it doesn't change. I love YouTube for learning. Can't find anywhere else. True. The day I realized, Derek says, that any attendee can mute any other speaker on MS Teams during the meetings changed my world. The days of listening to random noises during conversations ended then. Yeah. We have the power as the moderator. Yeah. This is what Stephanie says. Love the power of mute. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be rude. You oh, shut up, I don't want to listen to you, kind of a thing. But that's not what it's there for. It's usually 9 times out of 10 cases, people have just forgotten that other people can hear them. That's all. Else says I was using my Surger too, Walter, but I was muted. Yeah. Well, you see, there's something built into Zoom, which I think it defaults to. And you can change the levels of it. But there's an automatic noise, background noise suppressor in Zoom. And if that's on, then things that are in the background, like your sewing machine or something like that, it will usually mute that. You won't hear it. But on mine, it's already comes up automatically all the time. I don't know if it's because I maybe set something for that, or but you might want to look into that. That's in where, you know, where you can check your audio and your video and background and that's in there. Look under the audio settings for it. Colleen says your teacher intervention is always appreciated. But I don't want to intervene. That's why I have co-hosts, okay, on the pop-up sew days. Like Dana, the hostess with the most, not Dana, Jan, the hostess with the mostest. I usually give her co-host because, where is Jan? Don't see her on here today. No. She probably forgot that we're on at 3. I usually give her co-host because Jan, I keep saying Dana. Jan loves to be the hostess with the mostest and greet people when they come in. I'm sure for new people that come onto one of my pop-up sew days, they probably figure it's being run by Jan on there. But Jan's right on it when she's, you know, switching the screen over so we can spotlight somebody in that. And I appreciate that because then I can get some sewing done as well because, you know, I don't just do pop-up sew days to cater to everybody else. I want to have time to sew as well. So, you know, and I give, you know, Stephanie co-host as well for that. I give it to people I trust that I know, you know, can do it. And so, you know, many hands make light work kind of a deal. That's at least the philosophy I go by. M says, Zoom is very sensitive to and intelligent. Last time I was practicing Japanese, the mic picked it up to the whisper, but why it doesn't pick up the sewing machine sounds? I think it depends on the proximity to the microphone. The closer you are to the microphone, the more it's going to pick up. If there's something that, say, you're in the foreground, but your machine is behind you or whatever, it seems to block that out. I don't know how the technology works, but that seems to be what it does. Or maybe
keys on voice as opposed to mechanical sound.
No, maybe, I don't know. Elsie says, yes, always shimmy audio. What's that word? Always. I don't understand that word. That's the polite thing to do. I only unmute to respond or talk to the group.
Okay.
I think there's that word is something. Probably spell checker got it or something. Whatever. Or it's a new word. I don't know. It's a possibility. That was the one I didn't know. Anyways, so yeah, we got talking about YouTube, we got talking about Zoom, pop-up sew day. Okay, the other thing too I want to say about subscribing to YouTube, you realize right now there are ways for you to pay for YouTube videos. There's Super Chat, which I do not have activated on here, and I'm never going to activate it. That's basically where you can give money, any denomination you want. It comes up into the chat feed on a live, and the person who's running the YouTube chat or the live, it moves whatever they have said to the top of the screen, and they will address that issue. Personally, I think that's a stupid thing to spend your money on. But there are a lot of YouTube lives out there that do have that turned on, and some of them make a fair amount of money. If you watch Curiosity Inc., when he turns that on, I watched several times. I've watched it and I've added up how much money he's made in an hour. There have been days when he's made several $100s with it. There are people who will actually give him $50. Why? He's sitting there on a live talking about his business, talking about what his kids are doing, talking about his home renovations or what stuff like that. Why would you pay for that? I don't get it. Then there's something called a Buy Me a Coffee. That will show up, I think, in the show notes underneath the video. And you can click on that. And it works sort of like Super Chat, where you can give someone a tip. The people who set up Buy Me a Coffee get a certain portion of that. Oh, YouTube gets a certain portion of the Super Chats, too. I mean, it's not free. There are others that have Patreon, which is a separate thing, but basically they take a percentage, and that's where content creators will create a extra video in a month for you if you monthly subscribe.
Have certain rules of what they do.
Yeah,
for you extra if you pay the money.
And they have tiers. Yeah, I'm not getting into that. And there's another thing out there. Just left my head. Shoot, can't think what it is, but there's another thing where you can give money. Oh, you can join. That's it. If you've ever noticed, there's sometimes a little box will show up on a video down at the bottom of your screen and say join. And if the creator has set that up, and basically it's kind of like Patreon, except you're just joining with a monthly pledge of money you're going to give. And I really hate content creators that say this. Thank you for your donations. It really helps me to continue to produce these videos. It does not. Everybody owns a computer, so that's not an added expense to make a video. Computers come with a camera in them. If you want something special or multiple cameras, then yes, you're paying for that, but that you don't have to have those to make a video. You can use the microphone that's built into your laptop. You don't have to have extra external microphones or one that you wear. Yes, those ones will give you better sound, but you don't have to have them to do a video. You do not pay a fee to YouTube to create videos. If you're monetized, they take 30% from me for that. They call it American income tax for that. So whatever. But, you don't have to monetize with it. So basically, special lighting cost me $60 for the lighting I have. I do have external microphones, but I don't need any of that equipment to do what we're doing right now. Yes, the overall quality might be better.
If you had equipment.
But, no one has to have that. So these ones that say, yeah, this allows me to continue putting videos out every week. That's bullshit. Now, what some of them mean, though, is that this is their full-time job. That's a little different. Okay? But like anybody who makes YouTube your full-time job, viewers are fickle. You might be the flavor of the month for a while, but eventually the flavor may go stale and you'll lose people. So if you're counting on this going to be your income for the rest of your life, I think there's very few people that can do that, without a whole lot of work, like Mr. Beast or some of those ones out there. So what people saying here? Julie says YouTube takes 30% of all super chats. Yeah, that seems to be their magic number, 30%. Yeah. Elsie loves pop-ups. I get quite a few things done with your company. I think you mean pop-ups, but pop-ups. Sometimes we get pop-ups too on the pop-up days. People show their pets, which is always fun because I like to see their pets. Diana says thumbs up, everyone. Elsie says, gosh, thanks, Stephen, for keeping it simple. Yeah. I don't know what I kept simple. I watched a lady get drunk during her video while taking super chats. Maybe people were paying her to keep her on there longer, see how drunk she'd get. I don't know. The video's over when suddenly the screen gets covered in vomit. Ooh, that's a visual. Don't want to go there. Hi, Jean. Patty C's here. Thanks, Patty. Elsie says, I want to thank you for interviewing Kate at the last Homely House. Never heard of her. Kate's the new favorite. Yes, Kate is very, very good. I was surprised when she agreed to be on my retreat and also to allow me to interview her. She's a wonderful person. She's got a second channel now called The Last Homely Garden as well, where she talks about her gardening, everything. She's becoming a little bit more professional. She has help now in her videos. They're becoming a little bit more produced. Not that that's really a criticism, because I really like Kate. I think she's a very nice person, but, you know, she's getting more professional. She's leaving me in the dust. Colleen says, so you're saying GQG could start producing content? Not anytime soon. GQG. I don't know what GQG is, Colleen. Patty says, quilting with Stephanie said, I got drunk from doing shots on a live. Oh, wait, it was your live. Oh, okay, Patty. Maybe too much information. M dislikes some creators put up PayPal links. It's just weird. Yep, I know. There's all kinds of different ways people are trying to make money on YouTube. Of course, you know, you don't have to give them any money, and if it really bothers you too, you can just, I won't subscribe to them, I won't go to them anymore. Oh, Patty says, watch out for quilting with Stephanie Stitches. She's a bad influence on me specifically. Do we need to delete Patty C? I think we're being funny there, right, Patty? Say you're being funny, Patty, with that. But anyways, well, that's it, people. We've come to our time. We're going to have our company here soon for dinner and everything. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks to everybody that's wished me a happy birthday and wished us a happy anniversary and everything. We appreciate the sentiments. And thank you for all those who came out to the pop-up Sew Day. And there'll be another one soon. I don't know when, but it will be soon. So have a great week, everybody. And we'll talk to you later.